Good morning, friends, family, and subscribers, and soon to be members. This video is something that we shot several months ago. David Sutalon is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and has studied many other martial arts systems. He is very proficient with swords and knives, batons. You will see him in this video, and you will see some of his students. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to create a curriculum for defense of your firearm. This means if you're carrying a firearm and you end up being attacked and you're fighting to keep your gun or to get your gun out and onto target, you want to have something that you have trained on. You want to have a background, you want to have a history, you want to have experiences and techniques and tactics that you can use in order to help you do that more proficiently. Basically, you want to have a program uploaded into your brain of past experiences that you can call upon on what to do in certain situations. So we're trying to create a curriculum or training class for what we call a gun in the fight. Not a gunfight, but a gun in the fight, or fighting with a gun in the fight. So what you're seeing here, this is not a class, this is not training, this video is not meant to be used as a training aid. This is simply us beta testing some concepts, having discussions, testing some things out, and seeing if there's skill sets that we can put together in a teachable format that will work. As you can see here, we started with falling, with being pushed down, with being thrown to the ground, and how you can get your weapon out and up on target or between you and your assailant quickly and easily. Again, this is not a finished product. This is not something that we're saying do this, do this, do this. This is techniques that we are trying, and it will take us a while to get this down and to get it into what we would call a marketable curriculum, something that we can push out and say, this will work or this won't work. This may work. What you're seeing here is let's go through some grappling techniques, and then we're looking for gaps and spaces where a weapon can be pulled, presented, where blows can be delivered, kicks can be delivered, joint manipulations can be used, chokes can be used, pressure points can be used, these kind of things. We are not getting into striking at this time as we're testing this out with these students, because we can't damage each other right now at this stage of training, testing this stuff out. Ideally, we're going to have protective gear that we will be using to teach it will be full body protective gear, and this is something that we have to purchase from outside of Thailand and have delivered to Thailand, because they don't currently have the type of protective equipment that we need here. As the video's progressing, you will see that we get more and more physical. When I came into this setting, my idea was to come in as an armed person who has no training. Now, I have a lot of training, but I haven't used it in years. And two, I wanted to just set everything I know to the side for the beginning and definitely at the end, and see what it's like to go and not use any of the things that I know would help me first. Okay, so I'm trying to come into it as an untrained person, just your average Joe who has a a concealed carry permit or is carrying a firearm for work, and now has to try to keep that weapon out of the hands of their opponent as they are being assaulted. You see me doing some stuff that looks pretty lame, it probably is. I'm not trying to hide it. I'm not trying to say I'm the best martial artist in the world. I'm not, some super secret gun ninja. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a workable system with David Suthlan, because he's quite good at grappling. He's quite good at striking. He's quite good at a lot of things in relations to combative arts. He's also a very avid shooter. IPSC and IDPA type events. Here, there, going under here. This portion of demonstration here is something that was taught to be by the military back prior to the Marine Corps martial arts program, when we were putting together the current doctrine for the Marine Corps martial arts program, what's called Mcmap. And this was a combination of line training, Aikido, Hapkido, Jiu-Jitsu, and other martial arts forms. It is an MMA, it is a mixed martial art, but it's not what you would typically see as a competitive mixed martial art. This is get in, destroy your target, get out as quickly as you can. What you see David showing here is the 360 block taken from Krav Maga, which David's quite skilled at, and you'll see him try it in several different speeds. We will be teaching this on 360 defense and other blocking concepts in the classes that we do develop.
Okay. So it's just a step. Okay, can I have it on the other side so I can see? This side. Okay. One more. Kind of lost track of it.
Yeah, this side.
Yeah. Other way.
No! No! No!
Kill him!
Round one. Fight.
This is with me and David Suthlan going at it. Right? He has got a very good center. He's got very good balance. And I'm trying to just put as much weight on him as possible to take him to the ground. And it's not working. I'm trying to take a leg out from under him, and it's not working. I'm trying to get an arm to force his head over, and it's not working. And this is when you know someone's very grounded, and got a good center, and they know what they're doing as far as balance and control. I am 220 pounds at this time. I'm coming out of 1 month of an upper respiratory infection. So you're going to hear me breathing quite heavily, but that's all right. Trouble always finds you when you are at your weakest or least prepared. So we want to train even though we're not top.
Careful.
If you're paying attention here to the slow motion, you will see that David does get my gun out from concealment. I instantaneously, as quickly as I can, grab him by the testicles and pull as hard as I can. Now, he's got a couple of shots on target into me, and I would have been toast for sure. But the last program that went into my mind was grab, twist, pull, and that's exactly what I did. And I hung on like a snapping turtle or a crocodile. in it for the fight. And he's still got shots off on me, even though I have a beer can crush on his balls. Now this is how you know you're dealing with a tough guy, when he can take that shot and get right back into the fight with no problem. In future videos, you're going to see us doing some striking. You're going to see us training against the Demo security team, and we'll be getting into some striking and using environmental weapons in those scenarios as well.
Round 2. Fight!
We did several 5-minute bouts. These were all timed bouts. So we timed these bouts with the camera at 5 minutes for each round. Most hand-to-hand fights will not last 5 minutes, but we wanted to push it a little bit, and we also didn't want to run out of memory on the camera that we were using. So we limited it to 5 minutes per round. However, we did this from 9 p.m. until midnight. So we had a little over 3 hours, almost 4 hours of this type of grappling. Now you'll see that David is in a traditional gi and I'm in regular streetwear. There's a reason for this. The main reason is that David had just finished teaching his students, who you saw earlier in the video and you will see again at the end, in Jiu-Jitsu and Kinjitsu. And I came in streetwear. Ideally, when we teach this to our students in our classes, we will have them wearing streetwear. We will have them wearing their own holsters, concealment holsters, and carrying unloaded firearms or using dummy guns. I would prefer to use dummy guns such as airsoft or rubber guns, just for safety. There are tons and tons of quick takeaway videos where guys are snatching weapons out of other guys' hands. Trust me, guys, that really doesn't happen. What will often happen is you'll get exactly what you're seeing here, where one person has positive control of the weapon and the other person's trying to wince it from their grip. So we're trying to stick with more reality-based things, with resistance training, not passive students who are compliant. We want people to fight against us as we're teaching them. We want to try and see what actually works when someone is resisting and not following katas, not following pre-programmed movements. Yes, we will have some pre-programmed concepts and pre-programmed movements that will go into the system, but overall we want it to be a free-flow based system with functional resistance, reality, adrenaline-based training. Another reason that we did 5-minute bouts is because we didn't want to have tap outs. We didn't want to give someone the opportunity to surrender. Surrender is not an option when your life is on the line. You cannot say, time's out, I want to take a break and catch my breath. So we set it at 5 minutes. If you can survive for 5 minutes with keeping the gun either in the holster or in your hand and away from the opponent, or if you get shots on target to end the fight, or you can strike and knock out your opponent and make an escape, then we would call that a win. You had survived. However, if you lost control of your weapon, your opponent knocked you out or was able to incapacitate you in some way through chokes or joint locks or pressure points or anything like that, then you have lost the bout. We did grab tracheas. We did do what's typically called like an eagle claw or bear claw grab on a trachea and try to shut down the airway. There's two ways you can do this. You can pull the person in close and try to do it that way, or you can push them away and put more force against the trachea by pushing them away. So you will see that a couple of times. We tried it and we went pretty hard on it. After this session, the next day, everyone was talking about their bumps, their bruises, their abrasions, and their swollen tracheas. In a previous fight, I have had my trachea broken and was drowning in my own blood while trying to survive through the fight. So I know how effective this can be, to have your windpipe crushed and how painful it can be. So we were trying it, we weren't going 100%, we were maybe going 40, 50%. And still, the next day, people were feeling like their neck was sore, their trachea was swollen, they were having a hard time swallowing. This is one of the things that we will get into teaching in the class, as well as striking once we have the protective gear sent to us from abroad.
So on the ground pound hard, harder the ground pound, and go for a bridge, but not directly up. And we can slide an angle so you can slide it. Exactly. You just keep on sparring. So for him, he has a lot of things to do. Like for example, there's a 3-4 lock. Yeah. Oh, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu call it Americana. Yeah, I can get him here. This striking thing, actually with the striking. This, to run in. Cross the nose up. Exactly. But second vice versa, he can also do the same. Yeah. Keep continuing. This is fine.
Cody.
Fish hook.
Yeah, fish hook. Put it out the eyes and go here on the
Trachea. Go for the air. For the windpipe in here. One of my favorite things to do. Get in and grab that trachea and start twisting it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, just relax. If he's not good, get too much.
Yeah, catch your breath. Get your energy out.
Finish him!
Once you catch your breath, use an explosive energy and you get a top. Same way, around pound two.
Yeah. Elbows to the inside of the thighs.
Elbows
Here to the femoral artery and the one punch. Bam. Boom. Yeah.
Thumbs up.
hands up.
Final round. Fight!
Remember how you did like him or dead on him? You can do the same thing inside that skin.
I gotta get in first. Anyways, I'll throw in first. Simple as that. I'll throw in first and then I go for pressure points. And that was one of the sacrifice throws. Now, pressure points are everywhere. Really? Okay? See? Look at his face.
Get up underneath him.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you can inside pressure to the neck. Yeah. If he's got his hand like this, he's open for an arm bar. He's back here. If you go for an arm bar, really. Okay. On top. Just sit in. Sit in. Your hand up. Arms like this. If he doesn't have a knife, okay, no gun, right? But he doesn't want to. You comply, I want you to rest him. You can have your left arm in through here, grab his wrist here, stop, that's it. See? Then, take out your hands up. Right hand, tell him to turn over. If he doesn't turn over, I will bring his arm. Turn over. Turn. One. Give me the other arm, I'll break your arm. Simple as that. And that's
Oh, stay there.
another thing you can do, get it back in this arm in front.
Excellent.
Arm in front, like this, and pulling your hands together, you're not
So what you're seeing here is he's resisting. He has his hands underneath his body, and I'm trying to get his hands out. I'm not able to strike him, or I don't wish to strike him for various legal reasons, but I do want to get him to get his hands out. So I reach underneath, and he's a skinnier guy, so this technique will work much easier on him. And I'm grabbing his rib cage. I'm sticking my fingers up underneath his ribs into his abdominal cavity and lifting up on the rib cage. It's extremely painful, and at the same time I'm giving him commands to give me his hands. And you will hear him say, "Oh, it's painful, it's painful." And then he takes his hands out and surrenders, and I'm able to put him in a lock.
I need to hold you.
Fatality.
And of course, here's Jackie doing his part in today's program.
Oh dear.
All right, guys, that's it for today's video. If you'd like to learn more about David Sutulong, there will be a link in the description down below for his YouTube channel. Also, tell us what you'd like to see us do. Make recommendations, comment, tear us up in the comments. We'd love to hear what you got to say. So from us here at Tactical Adventurer Thailand, I'm David Gray saying, log on, cop, chog day, cop, sorry, cop.